Good morning, Councilmember White and Councilmember Grasso. Um, Thank you so much for this opportunity to return once again to testify on behalf of an issue that I care really deeply about. My name is Holly Siebold, and I am the founder and executive director of BRAS. BRA's mission is to empower and bring dignity to women and girls by providing undergarments and menstrual supplies to low-income and homeless communities. 2 years ago, when I first testified in support of Law 21201, the Feminine Hygiene and Diapers Sales Tax Exemption Amendment Act of 2016, also known as the tampon tax repeal, I described a serious and ongoing problem for women and girls in DC, the inability for individuals in this district to access and afford adequate period supplies, and particularly challenging for our clients who are homeless and low-income women and girls. I personally have witnessed the struggle myself as I visited shelters in DC on behalf of BRA's work. The women and girls we serve do not have the ability to afford pads and tampons and often turn to inadequate alternatives. The health risks, anxiety, and lack of opportunity that results from the lack of access are highly destructive, and our entire community suffers. I was pleased that my testimony, along with the others at the time, was well received, and the DC Council proceeded to pass this bill into law. It was a dynamic legislative success, one that was long overdue, as it marked the end of a discriminatory policy. DC became a national model of menstrual equity and a global leader in the fight for women's equity, receiving praise by leaders and positive media coverage throughout the world. However, this excitement was short-lived, as we soon discovered that this law would not be included in the mayor's 2018 budget, and despite our pleas to the DC Council last year, the law remains unfunded. It's a shame, really. Women have so many extra barriers. This should not be one of them. DC Council made the right decision when it decided to remove the tax on menstrual supplies in 2016, yet this law is still not benefiting those it was intended to help. DC Council now has the opportunity to rectify this mistake. This time around, Mayor Bowser did include funding for the menstrual product portion of the tampon tax repeal in a proposed 2019 budget, and I am beyond thrilled to see it. It is a testament to our integrity and sense of justice on behalf of women and girls. I'm here today to urge you to follow through on your commitment to women's and girls as well by funding the tampon tax repeal consistent with the mayor's proposed budget. The inequity between those who menstruate and those who do not has severe and long-term consequences to the residents most impacted. In the city that hosted the Women's March and in the prime of movements like Me Too and Time's Up, the district once again has the opportunity to be at the forefront of another key women's movement, menstrual equity.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Charles Moreland. I am a student attorney at the UDC David A. Clark School of Law's Legislation Clinic representing BRAS. I am here to urge you to follow through on your commitment to women and girls by funding the tampon tax repeal. Funding the tampon tax repeal will alleviate the tax burden on women and girls, especially those with low income, and lead to more money being spent in the DC economy. This is a significant issue because almost 1 in 5 DC residents live below the federal poverty level of $25,100 for a family of 4. Women head over 42,000 family households in the district, and 30% of them are in poverty. These families are unable to use government programs such as Medicaid, SNAP, or WIC to purchase menstrual products. As Ms. Siebold says in her op-ed that appears in the Washington Post online today and in print on Sunday, the tampon tax is a regressive tax that disproportionately impacts low-income women by taking a larger percentage of their income compared to high-income earners. Imagine a single mother with 3 daughters living in poverty. An adequate month's supply of menstrual products for the 4 of them may cost upwards of $25 before taxes. A 5.75% sales tax to a family of 4 experiencing poverty only worsens their struggle. The amount saved by the tampon tax repeal is a significant amount for low-income women deciding between feeding their families and buying menstrual products. Funding the tampon tax repeal will put more money in the pockets of consumers, mostly women and girls, that will almost certainly be spent in the district. The average urban shopper reported traveling 15 minutes to make everyday purchases. Consumers across the income range reported spending an overwhelming majority of their money as opposed to saving it for retirement. This is even more true for low-income people who spend 94% of their income. This demonstrates a strong likelihood that money saved by the tampon tax repeal will be spent in the district to purchase necessities. As you will hear in subsequent testimony, the recirculation of saved money will bolster the DC economy. Funding the tampon tax repeal will lead to the saved tax money being spent in the district. Only this council can complete the job many of its members started in 2016 by funding the tampon tax repeal consistent with the level included in the mayor's budget. Thus, I urge you to include funding for the tampon tax repeal in the fiscal year 2019 budget. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you very much to this panel. We will start with a few questions. Ms.